Hi, I'm Dr. Brett Smith, and I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about our clinic at TN Direct Rheumatology. We are a primary care and rheumatology clinic. We have a unique focus that is focused on what we will declare as Healthspan. It's an interestingly evolving word in the medical and health literature, and that's what we really want to be passionate about for people is not only their health care but also their health span, which is really the how well they live each day from this day forward until the end of their lives. And I'm going to pull up a graph and show you what that looks like from a pictorial perspective to explain it a little bit better too. But we really want to maintain functional status and health as a centerpiece of our clinic at Tennessee Direct. And we do that through a variety of ways. We really want to change the way that healthcare is delivered and thought of in Knoxville and the surrounding areas. And what we mean by that is we want to go from a traditionally reactive to a more proactive system of healthcare. And that may look different for some of our clinic aspects too, but that's how we believe we build health span, health, and longevity for our patients. And I think that the idea of health span is an emerging idea. I do think that we're seeing a lot of good data, which I can briefly talk about in this and subsequent videos about how to do that. And it's based all on the literature. There's tons of literature out there about how to best and optimally use our body's resources to improve our quality of health, to do the things that you want to do the things that I want to do, and to do it for as long as possible without being dependent on someone else to take care of us, which is good if we need that, but also we want to be independent as long as we can to care for ourselves and those around us, of course, there too. And we really want to scurry through the medical literature to say what has the medical literature said about skeletal muscle, about strength training, about VO2 max, about cardiovascular health, about blood sugar and blood sugar monitoring, and about the newest data on how to prevent things like certain types of cancers and strokes and all those things too. So we want to comb through. We want to see what is the most optimal way as we move forward to say what's new, what's the latest and greatest as we go through the research to say how can we refine our process to deliver the best type of health care, focusing on an individual's health span with the most up-to-date medical literature and research available there. And when we look at various items, we want to take a different approach, and a different approach being we can look at some of the same things that everybody else looks at, of course, there too. We can look at blood pressure and body composition, which means how much muscle mass and body fat we all have. We want to look at your basal metabolic rate, which is how many calories you need per day to survive, how to improve your metabolism. We want to look at how well your metabolism is working. We want to look at what is your cardiorespiratory status and what's your VO2 max. We want to look at what is your glucose or blood sugar doing on a day-to-day and a week-to-week basis. And when we look at those things, we don't want to do a standard, hey, I'll see you once a year. We'll check your lab to make sure everything's okay. If there is something in there that looks like it may be trending on a spectrum into a direction of concern, we want to get to the bottom of that and figure out, all right, what's the deal here? What's going on that we can actually see a trend that is heading in the wrong direction? And we can address this before anything ever happens too. We don't want to wait till we hit a certain tipping point where then we hit the criteria, or as an example, somebody's A1C is 5.6. Well, that's not technically prediabetes. Prediabetes is 5.7, so we're okay. We want to see like, how do we get to 5.6? What should we do at 5.6 to improve that too, rather than waiting until somebody's pre-diabetic or diabetic to intervene. We want to be proactive rather than reactive, like I said. On top of that too is that there are many processes that are very slow. Things like cardiovascular disease. Cardiovascular disease is the #1 killer in the United States and the Western world. Over 20% of the deaths in the U.S. are from cardiovascular disease. Cardiovascular disease is not an overnight process. It takes years and decades to develop that risk. So, what do we do to lower somebody's risk not only when they're maybe 70 or 80, but also what do we do when somebody's 30, 40, 50, 60 years old to intervene, and not only intervene, but to assess what's their extent of cardiovascular disease. How do we make sure that we actually calm down the inflammatory process in their cardiovascular system and improve their status in order to reduce the chance of having an event in the future too. So those things are the way we want to look at things too, and we have some unique resources in our clinic to do so. And when we do that, we do believe that frequent follow-up is a good idea. In our clinic too, we like to see people, probably at least every quarter too, to check in for body compositions, to make sure we have either maintenance or growth of skeletal muscle mass, to make sure that we also have stable or declining body fat into the normal range. We want to make sure our laboratory and cardiovascular parameters are stable or monitored as well. We want to make sure we're keeping up on the exercise regimens too. We're very big about exercise here too, and I can share why. And again, in the graph too, is that there's really no medicine that equates to the benefit of exercise for health span. So when you look at VO2 max testing and cardiorespiratory fitness and strength and muscular assessment too, there are very unique ways we measure that, but nothing else as formed as a pill in the medical literature equates to the benefit of those. So we're very big about those lifestyle interventions. And in 2023 and 2024, I've worked on some certifications with the International Sports Science Association to achieve my personal trainer license as well. Also bodybuilding and working on cardiorespiratory fitness as well, in order to maximize my knowledge of the base to help train people for their health span to keep them on track. Not a lot of physicians are trained in sports science and these other aspects too, so I wanted to deliver the most up-to-date science available for you in our clinic as a health span focused clinic. We're taking new patients, looking for people that are interested in health span and these metrics in order to offer the best quality of life. So check us out on our website. We appreciate you watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the clinic pretty soon. Thank you.